Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to ConsoleKits Podcast, and in this episode, we'll be talking about 3 different topics tonight. Before I go any further, thank you guys so much for coming out to this live stream. I gave you no indication of what we would be talking about today, so you took a chance, come on to the live stream, just with the title, Hot Topics. Thank you guys so much, but this is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Arcade1up and the products that are seemingly coming out. Some of them have been officially announced. Some of them are kind of leaks. I don't know. Some of them may be intentional leaks. When we're talking about Arcade1up, we're also going to be talking about my time at Comic-Con. And I made a video with John D from Arcade1up. We'll talk a little bit more about that and what I think they're probably going to be doing in the future. Then I also want to talk about Stern. While I was there at Comic-Con, we got some information from Stern of what they plan on making by the end of the year. They got 2 more machines coming out by the end of the year. Probably into CES is that second one. And an entire roadmap from Stern. They had no clue that I was a YouTuber. And they were talking to me saying like, well, this is what we're going to be doing next year. And I was like, really? Really? Oh, I'm going to talk about that on the podcast. That's for sure. Anyway, so we'll be talking about that, what I'm excited about. And then finally, there's a new product in retro gaming that I'm super excited about. Details about this just came out in the last 24 hours or so. So I'm pretty excited to talk about that. So this is ConsoleKits Podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming and hang out. Let's see. That's right. P-Dub's Hot Topic. I love that store. What's going on, man? We got Alfred Berger, King Midas, Andy's Game Room. What's going on? Dan Z, Andrew. I never know how to pronounce his last name, but what's going on? The bad guy, Mike Worley. What is going on? You don't have a friend, Dan Worley, but you're Mike Worley, so that's interesting. Lewis Chambers. He also loves that store. Thanks, Zohar. That was a fun interview. There's actually 2 other interviews that I filmed, and unfortunately, I'm unable to release those other 2 videos, but no one said I can't talk about it. So anyway, there was some things said on the other videos that can't go public. Wow. How did I get myself in a situation where I care about someone else's feelings? It would hurt my feelings if that video came out. I guess I care about your feelings. So I'll just talk about what was said, avoiding the feeling hurtness. I don't know. Whatever. We'll get into it eventually. What is going on, JJ? It's good to hear from you. Andrew, that's right. Pinball, yes, let's talk about it. Thank you for welcoming me back. I did take a break. That's right. I took a break. It's always good to take a break. I think you come back even stronger, you know? You thought you could make me go away, but you can't. I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay, and I'm never going every Sunday. 6 p.m. Central Time, my time, Eastern. You can be checking out this wonderful podcast, the best podcast in the home arcade community. The #1 pinball channel of all time is right here. That's right, 2 million views, not on pinball, but hey, I can talk about pinball. I can still say I've established Anyway, let's get into it. We'll talk about pinball when we get into it. I know you guys are just like, can't wait. Just cannot wait for me to talk about pinball, like, right? Can't wait, right? You're gonna love it, okay? You're gonna love this topic because it's gonna be great. Because everyone's gonna share this video around and be like, did you hear what Justin said about pinball? Oh my God, I'm so excited. That's right. I brought that to the community, right? It's like the common unity. The community is a common unity. And so the unity that you have and the unity that I have creates this community. This common unity, this bond that cannot be broken. And I'm going to share with you the things that I love. And then you may go, I didn't even know I loved that. And then we have common unity. That's right. Let's get into it, community. Community-driven live streams. That's what we're all about. So let's cut the cake, because if we don't, Zohar's going to freak out. Let's talk a little bit about Arcade1up, okay? So Arcade1up, we got all of these things that are going on. We got Arcade1up. This machine is the deluxe, but I want to use this as an example. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. Nope, not that one. Not that one either. There it is. There it is. It's been a while. It's been a while since I streamed. Since I streamed on YouTube. It's been a while. Okay, so this is not the XL cabinet, but it's going to look like this. We've seen leaks online of the PacMan XL cabinet. Now, how does it differ from this picture? Here's what's cool, is the XL cabinet, seemingly, is only $100 more expensive. Only $100 more. You take this machine, add a 19-inch monitor, a jumbo, I think they're calling it a jumbo marquee, increase the size to 66 inches. I think that's right. It's the 66-inch, the deluxe, which is pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. So an XL PacMan, 19-inch BOE, that's what we're assuming it's going to be, $599. Now, the only reason why you would not be excited, I'm telling you, the only reason that would not excite you is because you're sick and tired of Pac-Man. Am I right? Who's sick and tired of Pac-Man? Let's say in the chat. Just type in sick and tired of Pac-Man, right? That's why you would not be excited about the PacMan XL. Now, take that away for a moment, and let's just talk about what remains. What remains is an XL machine for $599 that has a 19-inch BOE. What is wrong with you people? I'm talking to you. Do you understand what's happening right now? We've asked for the XL, and we all thought it was going to be like $699, $799, and some people would pay that. An XL for $599 is incredible. Do you even remember when these machines were $700? $750 for some of these machines? Namco finally said, fine, we will allow you guys to come out with an XL. An XL machine for seemingly $599. It better be $599. Costco, 14 games, XL, BOE monitor, 19-inch, more like the original, shaped like the original, with the slant monitor, all of it, $599. You should be freaking out. And you know why you're not freaking out? It's because I was on vacation for so long. No one was here telling you to freak out. 19K Fox, in the chat, what is wrong with you? You're a bad content creator, 19K Fox. You should be telling people to freak out. Console Fanboy with his videos. Oh my god. Nah, whatever. You should be freaking out. Because, imagine, Arcade1up came out with a 19-inch XL version of Mortal Kombat for $599. You would be flipping out. Jeez, man. Seriously. What is wrong with you people? Okay. Common unity. The passion that I have for you guys, the love that I have for you guys is this high. Do you know how I know? It's because I was gone for a while and I missed you. But just like family, sometimes we gotta say, what is wrong with you? Okay, right. You would be peeing yourself. Console Fanboy says he'd be peeing himself if they come out with a Mortal Kombat with a 19-inch monitor for only $599. Okay, let's just hope that this trend continues. This is a good trend. This is a positive trend. What else do you want than better hardware for an inexpensive price? Now think about it. I've heard a lot of people say that they don't want an XL. I'm telling you, you just don't want to spend the XL money. But if we start getting XLs for $599, and then those go on discount for $399, why wouldn't you get one? 19-inch BOE? Is it really too big? I don't think it's too big. Is it really too heavy? It's not too heavy. These XLs are a great form factor. Now, the haters are going to come in. Listen to Justin, the biggest shill ever. This is what you want too, right? The XL 19-inch is more like a full-size arcade. What do you guys want? You just want to complain. That's all you want to do. That's just it. everything Arcade1up does is wrong, and everyone just wants something to complain about. Again, common unity. My love and passion for this is so high. You know how I know? It's because I was gone for a while, but now I'm back. Now, positive hype train ended. Now I'm not mad at you, okay? I'm mad at Arcade1up. Okay, let's talk about the reasons why we should be mad at Arcade1up. You know, I gave you the I was mad at the community. That version of Justin just happened. Now, I'm mad at Arcade1up. Ready? Can you guys see what I'm about to do? What is wrong with you? Seriously, nobody asked for this. Yeah, Atari 50. We get it. It is the worst cabinet that Arcade1up and Atari have ever created. Ever. It has a gigantic Atari logo on it, so big that it's cutting off parts of it. The Atari 50 is on there like 50 times. Look, Chris, it's not for anybody. It's literally for executives at Atari that love Atari's logo so much that they want this machine in their CEO executive office. They're literally going to sell 2 of these machines. One to Scott Baccarat and one to whoever is the CEO of Atari. Now, hold on. Let's stop the hate train and let's talk about the positive. The positives of this machine is that it's, I guess, $499. It's not $700. Okay, let's be on the bright side. The other seemingly interesting thing about this machine is it has 50-some games in it. Do you guys remember when the MVSX came out and we were like, oh my god, Arcade1up will never do 50 games? Well, they did finally, except for with a whole bunch of 2600 games that, I don't know. Okay, look, online leaderboards. Note, online leaderboards are for the 14 arcade titles only. We got upgraded joysticks. This is the first time the Atari has joysticks on it. Do you know why? Because you need a joystick to play a whole bunch of 2600 games. Let's see. So it's going to have light-up buttons. And let's see. It's going to have that 17-inch BOE crisp color monitor. It's going to have a metal certificate of authenticity plaque, over 5 feet tall, 14 arcade titles, and here it is, over 40 Atari 2600 classic games. Right there. So, that's interesting. If you hate this, I don't blame you. And for once in the lifetime, Console Fanboy actually made a good video today when he said that this was a dumb idea. Arcade1up, this is a dumb idea. And don't you dare, Arcade1up, look at me and say you don't understand. No! You don't understand your own product. This is dumb. This is what I want you to do. I want you to clip this video, those at Arcade1up. And if you at Arcade1up said the community is going to love this, clip this part of the video, send it to that person at Arcade1up and say, nope, everybody hates it, because that's the truth. We hate it. It's dumb. Don't release it. If you haven't printed them yet, just don't make them. Okay. Sorry. Common unity. My passion is so great because I've been gone for so long. That's how I know. Let's talk about the bright side. All right? The bright side. Let's say you did want this machine. Okay? All right. I'm going to help you out. That's what I'm here for. ConsoleKits is here to help you out. I'm here to make things better, right? I left the community and found out things got worse because freaking Nike K-Fox didn't keep it running. I see you. So I came back to see if I can make the community better. Common Unity, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to try to make it better. Look, if you really want this cabinet, you really want it, look, I get it. The buttons, it's got a joystick on it. It's got a little top knob turny thing on there. It's got 50-some games on it, 54. Okay, cool. Right. I want you to get a hairdryer. And I want to get you got to get like a little razor, okay? And then you're going to go to this corner right here, and you're going to heat up the paper, the glue, and you're just going to peel off this Atari side logo, the whole thing. You're going to heat it up and pull, and you're going to pray that underneath there is just black. Just black. And then you're just going to have a black cabinet, because a black cabinet is better than this gigantic 50 on the side. All right? RetroTech says, and I need you in Connecticut at the end of August. Is that right? All right. I'll look into it. We going to Connecticut? Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. So maybe hit. Okay, look. Do me a favor. There's a ton of people in the chat, and I bet they agree with me. But I'll want to hear from you that don't. Type in the chat, I actually like it. If you like this Atari and you would buy it, type in, I actually like it. It's okay. We're not going to make fun of you. We're not going to make fun of you. I just want to see. I just want to see if there's anyone in here. By the way, if you guys don't know, RetroTech is the king of CRT content on YouTube. He's a fantastic YouTuber. I've met him in person several times. He's joining my chat. I've been on his podcast. Love this guy. Makes great content. And go check him out, his channel. He makes videos on how to repair CRTs. It's fantastic. And he's trying to get me to come to a convention in August. So that's he wants to see me. He wants to hang out, right? Okay. Let's see. I hate the shape. I like the shape, hate the design. There you go. It belongs on a set of solid gold. Yeah, that's the other thing. I don't even know if that'll work. It's got gold trim, even if you took that off. Okay, Donovan. What is wrong with you, Donovan? Seriously, he actually likes it. I was kidding. I'm just kidding. But I like the idea of I'm talking to Donovan right now. Donovan, I'm speaking to you. I'm right above you right now. Donovan, he says he actually likes it. What is wrong with you? I'm just kidding. That's what I'm going to do from now on. I'm going to say negative things and then just be like, I'm just kidding. But really, I'm being serious. But I'm just kidding. Okay, look. Here's the point. I get it. Some people are going to look at that and like it. And some people are smart. Okay, I didn't mean that. Common unity. We're here for a single purpose. It's about togetherness. You can do this, Justin. You can do this. Okay. All right. Not everybody likes the same thing. But the majority of the people out there thinks this sucks. They think it sucks, okay? Clip that part. Send it to Arcade1up. No one's going to buy this. Move on to the next design. You know what we want. Was this the teaser, Arcade1up? That's asteroids. It's an asteroid shape. It's fantastic as asteroid. Just give us asteroid. I would even be fine with the joystick and the 50 games in the Atari 2600. But why do you always have to do these weird cabinets? You haven't done asteroids in forever, right? You did Centipede and you've done the Tempest, and why not? The shape is cool. You ruined it with an ugly design. The CEO of Atari made you do it, didn't they? Blink twice. Did they say they would sell their license to AtGames back to AtGames and iArcade and, I don't know, some other company, if they didn't do this dumb cabinet? Whatever. There we go. RetroTech's a genius. Instant clearance fodder. There we go. Okay. Would have green... You know... Mason was in the chat earlier. Maybe just a slight dip. Maybe if the 50 wasn't in 3... Okay, it's on the marquee. It's on the side, and it's on the front. You can kind of ignore the screen because it's probably not on the screen. You're playing the game, right? Playing the game. But maybe if it was just plain on the left, right? I don't know. I don't know how to fix this cabinet for real. Here's the thing, Console Fanboy. He says, you'll get it for $199 in January. Maybe. But check this out. If you look at it, it says it comes with a metal certificate of authenticity plaque. So, I don't know. Let's see if they have that in here, in these pictures. Oh my gosh. So horrible. Okay, that's fine. 61 inches, okay. It's a deluxe. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let's talk about positive things. All right, let's talk about positive things. Let me thank you again so much for coming to hang out. I needed to get that out. Dude, it's like 3 months of no podcasting, right? I needed to get it out. You love me still, right? You're not going to unsubscribe? I just get passionate from time to time, okay? That's not sarcastic, Justin. That's just actually me, okay? It is what it is. Okay, so now we're going to talk about pinball. Nobody leave! Check this out. Pinball is amazing. And if you don't believe so, you just don't know it yet. I want to tell you what I wish someone told me years ago about pinball. Because I've not always loved pinball. But there's just a few things that has just caused me to just absolutely love it. It gives me the feeling that is hard to kit with a lot of different games. But almost every pinball game or machine that I play now gives me this amazing feeling. And I want to share that with you. Will you let me share that with you? Now, I'm going to talk about this, and at the same time, you want some leaks? You want some information that you may not know about Stern? Maybe you do, but I'm guessing you don't. Stick around. You're about to hear something that I think is going to be really cool. So let's jump right into that. So while I was at Comic-Con, I spoke with the folks at Stern, and they said something to me that I don't think is widely known. Maybe it's known in a few corners, but in my bubble, in my group, in my content creators that I follow, this is not something that I've heard. I think it's fantastic. While this channel, a lot of times we talk about Arcade1up, we hate the idea of re-releases because Arcade1up keeps on re-releasing cabinets one year after another. But that's not exactly what Stern's planning on doing. They're waiting 10 years or so to re-release machines, which is a pretty good, fantastic idea. So what they told me was there's 2 more machines coming out this year. Widely accepted is 1 more. That's the research I could find. There's 1 more machine coming out this year. But Stern evidently has 2. Now, I think it's possible that second one is actually going to be unveiled at CES, but they'll start marketing it in December. Exactly what that title is, I don't know. But what I do know is in that conversation with Stern, they were talking about the best game of all time that they ever created was Godzilla. It's so good that the Toho asked for a second machine, a new Godzilla. And of course, that would be a really bad idea, right? Come out with a second Godzilla machine? It's the best machine of all time right now, according to Pinside, and widely accepted as a very, very good machine. If you're going to recreate that machine, you're most likely going to screw it up the second time. What are the likelihoods of you actually topping it? So that probably isn't going to happen, but maybe they'll come out with a special edition. Hopefully that special edition is actually good, like an anniversary or something that looks good. Maybe it's the same game. That was discussed. But more importantly, the idea was re-releasing older pins that have been out for a while. things like Kiss, things like Ghostbusters, even let's see, going back, I'm on Pinside, going back all of Stern's machines, Walking Dead, potentially Iron Man, these older Star Treks from 2013 that would qualify for the re-release, Avengers, and Metallica, AC/DC. These types of machines, we will likely see one of them that I just named, is assuming the future continues on the way that they explained it. We are likely going to see some re-releases from Stern. What does that mean? So let's say they come out with another Metallica. You take a look at the Metallica machine. This came out a number of years ago. It's not in production anymore. And some of these machines, look at it, their estimated value is higher than what current Stern machines actually sell at retail for. And so you can go into here and you can see the price history, how they were originally launched at a certain price, and they have raised in price. So the demand for the last year, 22 have been sold through Pinside for about $12,000. But Stern would likely re-release these at a, that was probably what their LE would cost, but like their Pro would be like $5,000. Now, here's the thing. I do want to mention that if you're new to playing pinball machines, the barrier to entry to enjoying pinball is not purchasing them one for your home. There are a huge demand of pinball machines that are growing in all metropolitan areas. So if you live in a metropolitan area that has arcades, how many of those arcades do you visit frequently, and do they have pinball machines? In my area, that number continues to grow. This year, we will likely see 2 or 3 more arcades in Des Moines. I've talked to people that are that are building new arcades, new businesses. So we're growing, and one just came out this last year, and they're filled with dozens of pinball machines. But not only do I want to hear what you have to say about this, let me bring in another person who was there at CES and is proof and evidence that what I'm saying is accurate.
Super true. Hey, what's up, Justin?
I just realized I can't hear you.
Yeah, I just couldn't stay off of YouTube.
Hold. No. Talk, man.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? If you guys
I can't hear anything you say, so and I know what to do. I know what to do. Just give me a second.
All right. He knows what to do.
Oh man, this is tough because I'm using that new audio mixer that I was telling you about.
Yeah.
And it has a million features, except for you literally got to spell out everything. There we go. Okay.
All right. You can hear me now?
I can hear you.
All right. Good. You sent out a link to invite people and you weren't ready, Justin. But
I wasn't ready.
Okay. All good. You were just talking about pinball, not CES. You're talking about Comic-Con, right? The conversation.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I probably said CES. Yeah, most of the time when I go on a trip, it's CES. So yeah,
it is. Yeah. But we're here, and happy Saturday. Glad to see you back. I saw a lot of people in the chat. Happy to see Justin ConsoleKits back. When I was at Comic-Con, we were doing some content and hoping that this would become back. Is this going to be a regular thing really quickly before we get back into pinball?
What do you mean a regular thing? Which part's regular?
Yeah, are you starting to come back weekly?
Yeah, I'm going to try to come back, make content every single week. I'm really miss making that content, and I think people miss me. And there's a handful of people that don't miss me, but they can go to hell.
Exactly. Well, I, for one, am super happy to see you back, so appreciate that. All right, what are we talking about? Pinball.
Okay, so pinball. First, I want to hit a 0 in the chat if you're not interested in pinball. Hit 1 in the chat if you are, and then I'm going to speak to specific individuals that type in 0 or 1. So what I was talking about was Stern is going to be most likely re-releasing some of these older titles. And do you remember how it was said, what type of games they would likely be re-releasing in the future roadmap?
Yeah, it was a great conversation with Joe D. And
that's right.
It was, from a company that has some of their greatest hits. And, they were trying to bring back some of their greatest hits to the community, which pinball, I think it's been an exponential growth the last 2 years. Like the growth of pinball in the last 2 years is probably the same as their last 7 years as a business. I mean, just throwing that out there, I have no evidence of that, but I'm just going off of pinflation, the cost of pinballs and how fast they increased. And so there was a lot of older pins that a lot of people missed in terms of owning them. And so I think it makes sense. It's the Arcade1up legacy model, right? Where they're
Yeah.
redoing.
Or like the vault, maybe.
Exactly. But the thing is, something that would entice people that may not have played those games before is the old 4:1 DMD screen.
Yes.
Is like, hey, maybe we modernize those with the 16:9 screens. The first time I ever saw Star Wars, this one with the 16:9 screen, it blew my mind. I was like, holy crap, I didn't know they made modern pinball machines with full-on 16:9 DMDs. And so, yeah, this is a great example. Star Trek with that 4:1, which is considered top 10 per straight down the middle. Seeing that as a modern pin with a new DMD features and interactions would be a cool remake and a cool way to modernize these pins for sure.
That's right. And if you look at it this way, if you want some of these machines, let's say that you wanted this Star Trek pinball machine, which when it came out was only like $5,000, right, for like the Pro model. And so that's its estimated value. So you can go look at how the pinflation has taken, but some of these machines, like we were looking at Metallica, the Metallica unit, it's like $12,000. And I think there's some of these older ones that have averaged even higher than that.
Wow.
And so the demand is there. The quantity of how many machines they sold back then are different than now. They've just doubled production. They're doubling production in the next year with a new facility. So it appears as though this is one of the things that they could do. Now, I'll give you one machine. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to buy these, but let's just pretend I am, okay? Let's just, I probably won't. For me, like, I'm really looking forward to a re-release of Attack from Mars or Medieval Madness. Both of those are like 17 grand. But if they re-release them brand new, that would be significantly less at retail. So, you know, and then they'll probably go up in value. But even then, I'm not really sure if I would buy it. But some of these other Stern machines that are really interesting is like XMen. So XMen would totally qualify for that title, whether they still have the license, probably because they still make Marvel games, like they just came out with Venom. But like this XMen pinball machine, it has that 4:1 LCD. And if you haven't played this, it is a fantastic machine. There's one at a local arcade. There's also another one that's Magneto. It's like the same game design. But imagine they re-release this next year. But it's like, you know, you start to see the new version at our local arcade. Because there's a ton of arcades in Des Moines, but only one of them has this X-Men, and it's old and it's beat up. You know what I mean? And it's like the older pin place. So I think it'd be really cool. Anyway, so what would you think would be, you know, one of those older titles that you would love to see?
Yeah, like we were saying, I don't think they would do this for every single one that came out. It would probably be just some of their amazing greatest hits, the ones that they know that are good tables, maybe top 10, top 15, 20, and then they could reproduce. I don't know where X-Men falls in that list, but it would have to be in that demand cycle to be able to say like, hey, that was a desirable pin. Let's bring it back. You know, the Brian Eddy thing saying about, hey, maybe Stranger Things might be coming back, right? That's right. Just a re-release of a current one. But that modernization one, yeah, I think maybe stuff like Walking Dead, right? Or something else would be one. That's another one that was like really highly rated as a game itself, but could use an upgrade. The X-Men one, even though it's a fun game, I could see that being reimagined as a brand new table. Like it's big enough IP that they could just do a complete remodernization of it too. So yeah, they haven't revisited exact same IPs, you know, and redone the games, but like Star Trek would be a really good one to consider. So those top 15 pins, I think I would love to see them potentially put it out. But I think the hobby of people buying it though, we're already seeing the people not getting Venom. What is that going to do to the pinball market now that all these distributors have all these pinball machines that they have to purchase because Stern is now cranking them out so much? Are they going to get to a place where maybe we do see a decrease in prices because they can't sell them? So I think it's going to be an interesting time to see all these new ideas come out from Stern, because I think they're at a really big turning point in terms of like more market appeal than they have in the past.
Right. For those in the audience who are big fans of home arcade, you definitely could probably see the common thing that might be happening with Stern, though, with Arcade1up, where Arcade1up kept on increasing the prices, maybe because of the part shortages, who knows? But eventually, now that we're seemingly getting the PacMan XL for only $5.99, which is not a price that we would have expected to see if they were continuing increasing. Like, it would probably, that XL would be like $8.99 if it was following the trend like it did a few years ago. So there is some type of price drop, at least with that model. And then, I find it really interesting, this Venom thing, because let's talk about that. So at Comic-Con, they unveiled the new Venom Stern machine, and they came out with a Pro and a Premium, and then there's also dealers that are getting the LE version, and then those are available, for purchase for a pretty large amount. But I have to be honest with you, man. I kept on playing the Pro, and I really liked it. It's really weird because this is one of those things where I think there's a detachment between the hype and reality. I'll give you an example. So 360, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, did you see the new MK1 Keepers of Time trailer that just dropped at DreamCon? Did you see that, Con?
I did not.
I didn't see it. I'll have to check that out. But he says, also, Venom Pro shouldn't exist. And this is what I'm talking about. A little bit with the hype doesn't really match reality. It's really interesting because, let's be honest, we went there and this is like the Pro version of Venom. I just randomly pulled up pictures of it while we're on this stream. And so you can take a look at the difference of, if the pictures will show up. Let me see if I can pull up in this video here. You can take a look at the differences between the Venom Pro and the Venom Premium. And on the surface, when you look at, wow, this is the Premium. It has all of these features on it. Great. Sit down and play the Premium. Is it fun? Sure. Play the Pro. And just ignore that thought in your head of this has less. The Pro is super fun. I think it's super fun. Like, we got super high scores on the Pro.
I scored higher on the Pro than I did the Premium, so I don't know if that, like, the gameplay is different. And that is, some pins definitely change in terms of gameplay from the Pros to the Premium. And I think that's what kind of also turns some people off, that feel like the Pro should be the game and Premium just adds on extras to it. But in this one, you don't have that scoop and loop shot. You really just have this horseshoe that kind of loops back. And you can't quite explain how those lock balls shoot out, and unless you've played it, like that experience, and even watching a video of somebody else playing it, it's a different feeling getting up a ramp and then a ball shooting at you immediately. It's like, I'm on my toes. Like, you're just consistently on your toes. And so I think that's the best feature about this particular
but
table.
That's on the Pro. That feeling is on the Pro.
But this is a table where you have to play it to feel it and understand it. I think that's what's the biggest less hype right now, is that people are just looking at it for what it is and not playing it and experience it and giving it a chance before you would purchase it. But purchasing is very rare thing. So
that's the thing. This is definitely one of those games where, so listen very carefully, like it's gonna be at the arcade pretty soon. You should totally go find the local arcade that has already something like a Godzilla or Foo Fighters, those or like James Bond. Those are those newer titles. So that means that place is probably going to pick up the Venom. They're probably going to get the Venom Pro. At least in my area, it's a lot of Pros. I know when I went out to LA, there was a lot of Premiums where some of the places that you took me to. Well, you took me there because they had Premiums, so that was great, by the way. But my point is this is a game you definitely should play.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you should buy it, but it's a lot of fun to play, even the Pro.
Yeah. So I'm just using another analogy. Like Arcade1up, their main customer isn't the direct consumer, it's the retailers, right? And from a pinball standpoint, what do you think the distributors and Stern's main customers are? Do you think it's the home buyer, or do you think it's kind of operators and breweries and places? Like, who do you think the main consumer buyer is for Stern currently?
Yeah. Well, Stern sells to distributors. Distributors sell to people, but those people could be arcade operators. I don't know. So the Stern, it's kind of weird. The Stern distributor in my area, I've had conversations with him, and he said he talks a lot about going through the list of people that regularly buy the LEs. Whenever the LEs, he asked me if I wanted to be a part of those distribution lists.
Ooh, fancy.
And so I was like, no, but he's like, well, you just text me anytime. He's like, there's a new machine coming out and you want to get on the list, just text me. And the moment they come in, because he doesn't do pre-orders, he literally, you text me, that's your pre-order.
Yeah.
You're going to go in the list, and then I'm going to go down that list and say, do you want one? Do you want one? Do you want one? And then you just pay me, and then I get it to you. Mm-hmm. But also I've heard him talk about, I was like, hey, did you check out that new barcade that just opened up? He goes, yeah, I sold all their machines. All the machines that are at that new barcade, he's the distributor for every single one of them.
Yeah.
So I don't really know. I don't know the stats on it.
The reason I asked, because I think about the limited editions for Stern have increased. There used to be 500 was the limited edition number. Like LEs now are at 1,000 pinball machines. And you gave me kind of like a food for thought with the number of Walmart stores, right? That, right. There's just a ton of these pinball machines that I think, I don't know how many premiums they're making, right? Or pros for that matter. There's a lot of machines that are out there. So, and it's a lot of money for each one. Yeah.
And it's a good point. So I asked those in the chat to type in a 0 earlier and then type in a 1, whether you're into pinball, whether you're not. And I want to speak to both of you. So first we'll talk about those that hit 1 in the chat that you're into pinball. I think you've already had that feeling. Now it's funny, Console Fanboy, who we both went to Disneyland with when we were out in California, and we got to play the Indiana Jones pinball machine that's right there at Disneyland. It was a lot of fun. And he was a 0. He used to be a 0. And so we told him very simply, look, pinball is actually very fun. For me, when I went to the arcade, it was like, oh, look, there's an IP that I recognize. I'm probably not going to play it. I'm going to play some Street Fighter. I'm going to play Galaga or whatever. But since then, around 2020, when I went to CES and I played Stranger Things for the first time, and people were like, you got to play it. And there was this moment where someone actually taught me the objective of the game. But Stranger Things is a good game to start with because the objective is super clear. You got to hit those tiles in the center, and then you got to get into what's the monsters?
The Demogorgon.
Demogorgon. And it's the same with like Attack from Mars. Yeah, it's like the objective is very easy. And then later, a Stern employee I was like, teach me. And he taught me this. Grab the ball, slow it down, control it, and then aim it at a target. The target you want to aim for is the one that's flashing. It's a rule that pretty much, like if you're just getting into pinball, shoot at the flashing light. And so my friends have come over and played pinball here. I've gone to pinball places with friends, and I tell them that simple thing. And then all of a sudden, according to Console Fanboy, it was all of a sudden pinball was like a fighting game. It's a Hadouken. Hitting this target is an uppercut. Hitting this target is a sweep, right? And then getting a boss battle is like a finish him. It's like doing the special move at the end. But you can actually get that same feeling that you get from video games where you're like, I'm going to pull this move off, I'm going to pull that move off, that same endorphin release. But I think it's like, the way I explain it, it's like better regulated. It's like I can play for an hour of pinball at the arcade, and it's like the entire time my adrenaline feels like it's rushing. Yeah. Definitely adrenaline junkie type thing. Mm-hmm. But if you haven't experienced that, because you didn't know those simple rules, this is what I suggest to you, because I'm going to talk about it more on the podcast as we go on next episode. I want you guys to do, those that hit 0, do me a favor. Go to a local pinball place between now and the next week or the week after. Make a plan. Go to pinballmap.com. Find an arcade in your area that has pinball machines and play something like a newer pinball machine, and make that objective to grab the ball, aim at a target, try to get 1 million, try to get some score, and come back and comment on one of my videos. Any of my videos, it doesn't matter what video it is, I'll get an email on it. And let me know what you thought of that. Because, again, community is about a common unity. And if you guys are not, if you hit 0 in the chat, but you like me or you like Kong, then let us enjoy this part of the hobby together. Because pinball, it's not about us becoming pinball channels. Who cares about that? Like, that's stupid. What's really cool is that we're put in a position to kind of be a part of some community, and we have a voice where we can share that community with others. And here's what's really cool. As over time, I've made pinball videos from time to time. It's the audience members that have came back and made those suggestions and said things that I then went to the pinball arcade and took those suggestions and found more enjoyment. So all I'm really doing is sharing that back out to the community. So here's an example of Kong in his local area going to pinballmap.com and finding things in the area. Again, the barrier to entry into enjoying pinball is not purchasing them for your home. And there's no like, oh, once you buy, start playing them, then you must buy one. Like, that's dumb.
Did you like this place?
That was so cool. So we went to this place.
Yeah, this is a comic book store called Revenge of that I took Justin to out here. But yeah, Pinball Map has really even changed when I travel for work. It's something that I look at to see if I could make a stop at a place, because there are machines I've not played and tested out before. So it's become a little bit of addicting hobby, and they're more available than retro arcades. These are in public social places that you can go to versus, retro arcades are fewer and far in between. And so if you're enjoying the hobby, like Justin was saying, I highly recommend it. Justin is totally becoming a pinball shill now in general. Let's encourage people to play pinball. Yeah. But I agree with everything that you just said. It's every game is different. Every game is unique. But yeah, check out Pinball Map. And I love the web browser version is cool because it actually show you the number of how many tables are at that location. So you can look in here and see this machine has 14 locations. There's a place called Player One. There's this place in Van Nuys that I took Justin to. It's a Korean barbecue place.
It's so great.
24 pinball machines, including
and a lot of LEs too. So that's where I played for the first time the 60th anniversary James Bond Collection Edition, which is a great game. It's a very different game than any other thing that's on the market right now. It's way overpriced, but it doesn't matter if you're going to a pinball place and throwing in a quarter. Like, it doesn't matter that it's a $17,000 pinball machine brand new when you can play it locally for $1,
Yeah. So I thought this is a cool way. And I didn't even notice that the online, the web version has pictures and things, because I normally will check it on my phone. So the app version of it is a little bit less functionality, but very, very similar for you to look up stuff too. So definitely check it out.
Speaking of pinball, I'm freaking out right now because good thing I'm not logged in. But right now, Captains is doing.
Is that a Medieval Madness?
No, that's a Cactus, which is worth about 10 grand.
Canyon. Okay.
The LE is worth 10 grand. That's not a. Okay. That's actually pretty accurate on price. That's the special edition.
Oh, okay.
It's weird because like sometimes on Captain's auction, there's just incredible deals, and then other times it's like, if you bought that, it's once you throw in tax, once you throw in buyer's fee, once you throw in shipping. Yeah. About that, once this show is over, I got to get back on auction because I did buy that Robotron. So I got a Robotron arcade from Captain's auction. I already have. Okay, so the it was kind of impulsive, but I have the PCB. That's the FPGA of the Multi-Williams, but I don't have a cabinet to put it in. And I've thought about buying a cabinet to put it in, and they had a Robotron, which would be perfect, but it's with an LCD, but I don't know if it has the original board in it, but I was like, I could flip it, whatever, and I could play it for a couple years or something. So I don't know. I ended up buying it, but now's the deal where if I buy anything else from Captain's auction, the shipping is almost free. Do you know about that, Kong? Well, you're local, so
yeah, I've always picked up stuff locally from them, so it's been a little bit easier for me. So I can't relate to that.
Right. So when you ship across the country, one other arcade only costs $50 or $100 more. It's not double the price, so you get some deals. So we got a couple super chats. We'll get into them. Thank you guys so much for the support. We'll run through these super chats, and we have one more discussion before we end the show. Console Fanboy with a $1.99 super chat. He says, should be called the Atari 5150. I think what he's referring to is the Atari, it's 51 years. Is that what he's talking about? Or it's crazy. Maybe he means that.
5150 is like, crazy.
That's pretty good. It took me a second to figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, console fanboy $1.99. He says 40 Atari 2600 games. 1UP bot Arcade confirmed. I see what he's doing there. I see what he's doing. Thank you for the support so much. I hope your kids are doing great, Bob. We saw him in Chicago, had a great time playing. What did we do with him? Oh, we played pinball games with Bob.
We did.
Right?
Yeah, we did. His kid beat me at Attack from Mars. So
did he?
Remember that? Yeah.
Okay, so we caught that one. Another one from 360. Thanks for the support, man. Really appreciate it. He says, do you see home market for high quality pinball at a reasonable price? Say around $1,000 to $2,000. Let's see. So the Legends 4K, the virtual one.
Yeah, I mean, and somebody had a comment about the value of virtual pinball versus the real pinball, and I started off virtual pinball. That's really what got me started in owning and wanting to play pinball, was learning rule sets for the pinball games that you can play through FX3 as well as VPX and whatnot. So I think virtual pinball is going to be your best bet around that price point. I don't know if there's you can play classic EM tables, right? You can get them around for those prices, but they're not going to be in the best shape. But yeah, it's unless you find a super stellar deal, it's going to be hard to find any modern pins at that price for sure. I don't think anything will ever come down that low.
Right. I have thought about the next pin, actually setting a price like $1,000 or $2,000 and buying one. So I know this guy locally. It's somewhat of a sad story, but remember on the in our group chat, I gave a list of about 10 machines. I was like, do you guys see any gems in here? And Michael B was like, oh, Freddy Cougar. That list was, there's this local guy that I know from, I have his phone number. We've chatted a few times. He does arcade repairs and all this stuff. He's at all the auctions, and he'll move arcades for you too. He frequently sells pinball machines that he buys and sells, and he has a big list that he's selling, and it's because one of his friends who has a collection passed away. So his wife is all like, we gotta get rid of these pinball machines. So he trusted the friend who's big in the community here in Des Moines to be like, can you get rid of these? And they're pretty decent price, but he has some that's like $1,000 or $2,000 that just kind of need a little bit of work. And now that I'm I own all these machines and I'm doing monthly maintenance on them. So next week is I always do it the first week of the month. So I pull them out and I clean them. And then the older one, I wax. The Jurassic Park that I have, I wax. So I'll probably wax maybe the Attack from Mars or the Revenge from Mars or the Star Wars, one of them. I'm not going to do all of them every single month or anything like that. That's crazy. But it's after 1,000 plays or something. But I thought about I really enjoyed that. It's the maintenance part actually is a lot of fun. I like cleaning them, and they're spotless all the time.
Yeah. Once you get into it, it is intimidating at first, but opening up the play field, getting into it, it's kind of neat. And I feel like it was one of my major concerns about owning a pinball machine was the maintenance. Any of these new modern Sterns use the same, I think it's called Spike 2 kind of board setup. So a lot of the parts are very made to be replaceable. There's plenty of them.
Hey,
hello, Congress. You just finished washing some cats?
I did finish washing some cats, and I thought we were supposed to play Godzilla.
Yes.
We're going to play some Godzilla?
Godzilla! Yeah. Do you have a favorite pinball machine out of the ones that we've gotten?
Foo Fighters.
You're Foo Fighters.
Well, I mean, 1 out of 3.
Yes, 1 out of 3.
1 out of 3.
He's been a fan.
There's one more super chat I want to get at. 360 funny. Again. Thank you so much for the super chat. 99 he said he went on a date this week to a 1UP arcade bar. He taught his date how to play pinball, how to access multiplayer mode, etc. And she said, I think it's so hot how much you know about pinball. So thanks, y'all. See? I don't know. I don't know about Mrs. Kongs, but my wife thinks pinball is much hotter than any arcade. She's like, I can sell all my arcades and replace them with pinball, and that would be just fine.
Interesting. Is it because she wants you to get rid of all the arcades?
I don't know her motive.
It sounds to be. So it's funny, when you came to visit us, did you get all your pinball fix in?
Oh, we went to a lot of places. There's very few machines that are on my list that I want to play
Oh.
now because mainly Revenge of had ton of LEs, and then it had Cactus Canyon, Medieval Madness, Attack from Mars. I played a lot of Attack from Mars LE, but I hadn't played the LE of Medieval Madness or Cactus Canyon. And so, yeah, I got a huge fix in while I was there.
Almost every single day you came, we found a pinball machine to play.
Oh,
So,
that's true. That is very true.
right?
Yeah.
So that was fun.
I might have to go through a list now and be like, have I hit every list of game that I've been, wanting to play?
Yeah.
I think it's hit. I just need to learn more about more games, I guess, before I can make a larger list. But
Well, one of these days. Wait, actually, does Las Vegas still have that pinball?
Pinball Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, there
there's
we go.
Pinball Hall of Fame. Yeah. So, I remember we went there way back years ago, just kind of like thinking that, this is kind of just a rinky-dink place
Arcade,
to go visit and spend time with the kids. It's like you go to the Midway at Circus and let's go to Pinball Arcade Hall of Fame. It was a very rundown kind of
It was
location.
actually pretty okay. The
old
location looked really run
You haven't
down.
been to the new one.
No, I
though
haven't been
yet?
to the new one.
Okay.
They did do a pretty good job of keeping a lot of the machines up.
Mhm.
It's not like wax and shiny and stuff like
Mhm.
that too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just rows and rows of old school arcades too, not just pinball.
But that's the only other place I've played a real Indiana Jones pinball, besides
very true.
Disneyland that we did the other
Really?
day. And my kiddo really liked Indiana Jones back then because they had the gun handle for the
gun
shooter.
handle.
So that's like
Right.
the main reason. So I mean, that's cool to experience older machines. And if you haven't been to Pinball Hall of Fame, we didn't get a chance to go when we were at CS.
We need
But
to.
They also have, next time we go to Vegas, some really rare, unique ones. They have this like vertical pinball machine that was a prototype that you kind of have to shoot up and then you kind of play down.
Yeah.
With vertical flippers.
I don't know
So,
if you
yeah.
caught what 3D said
360.
or 360. Sorry.
Oh. Yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I hope you showed your date how to nudge 360. It's one of the best things you can do. Pinball is very social. In fact, the best mod I did on my pinball machine was adding the cup holders here. So now she can have her beverage while we
It's
play
great,
pinball.
right?
It's a good mod. You got to
I
do
don't
it.
know if it holds my wine glasses. So.
Good point. I thought about moving mine to the left side in the front. So there's options, right? You can do it on the side, you can do it in the front. But I do want to share this picture if it's okay, because it gives you an example of what a hot day at Disneyland is like. And this is what I look like as it's hot, but it's what Mrs. Kong's look like when she's hot. And there's a big striking difference. And let's just say
listening.
let's just say my glistening is not attractive.
Yeah.
And hers is just it does better on you. Let's just say.
I took it off of your phone. That's right.
Oh, yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
Nice. It was a rosy fun time for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of good time. Well, I think we're running out of time. I still have a third topic that I would like to get to, but we'll just have to do it next time.
Next time. Well, you'll be back regular time. Is it going to be Saturdays or are you going to go back to Sundays?
I don't know. So right now it's Saturday because tomorrow my daughter has it's the end of her dance camp. So she has some special things she's got to do. And I think we got coming up next, is that right? We got 19K Fox. He's doing his This Week podcast.
Yeah.
And that thing, it's a similar story. It's where next week, he's on vacation next week. So starting tomorrow.
You also have one more super chat from 360.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me make sure I grab that. Oh, here it is. What I meant is, what's stern or spooky, etc., enter the home arcade at 1 to 2K. Do you think there's a market? Oh,
the cheapest one is a home pin right now, which is about $4,000.
Wow.
Right.
So that's their cheapest option, which is a even stripped down version of. It's actually even a completely different game. Like I think there's been a Star Wars home pin, a Jurassic Park home pin, and I don't know about is there another one that you know of? I think those are the only two, right?
it's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. So that's the cheapest option from Stern that I've seen. Spooky, definitely nowhere near that market price.
Then they have the Star Wars comic home pin. It's
Yeah,
just a
same
skin
playfield,
variant,
different-
right?
yes, yeah. So it's a definitely different game. But
Oh,
and
okay.
I wanted to play them, but I didn't get a chance to because
Did you see
can't
it's for
really buy
sale?
home pins on location. But yeah, that's the only one that would be the cheapest price from the modern stuff. There's a couple
So-
people that I've had that I know that are satisfied with them though. So check them out.
Yeah, so that particular unit, if you didn't see it,
It's 5K now. Damn.
the Star Wars comic book home pin that was at Comic-Con
Mm-hmm.
is on sale right now for like $3,000 and change. Maybe it's
Oh, dang.
30 something, 3,400.
Yeah.
Like that exact unit. I was gonna message you, but then I was like,
He doesn't need it.
yeah, I was
Oh, I
like,
already
I
got my
like
Star Wars
Kong
too.
and I like his wife, and it's like, anyway, let's just
Oh, good.
yeah. All right, I'm just sending everyone over to when 19K Fox starts. Oh, which is in an hour anyway, but I think he's starting in an hour. But I think that's all the time we have. Thank you guys so much for joining the live stream, the Kong family for joining in this discussion. We talked about Arcade1up. Let's do a quick recap and get lightning fast thoughts on all the things that we talked about today. So quick thoughts, final thoughts, and it's Arcade1up is coming out with an XL version. This PacMan Deluxe is $499, but we're going to get a $599, evidently. That's an XL jumbo marquee, 19-inch, hopefully BOE screen. Quick thoughts. What do you think?
Bigger is better.
How about we don't need it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't actually have any XLs, but I think it's cool that they are going back to the XL line. Pac-Man, I think it's a tired IP, but I get why they're doing it. But I hope they continue making and people buy it so we can get the next thing. That's what Michael B says, right?
Right.
Buy it so we can get the next thing.
All right. Atari Deluxe 50th has 40 Atari 2600 games in addition to the 14 arcade titles. What
We
do you
don't
think?
need it.
I'm not talking about us. I think we're maxed out. What do you
Okay.
think about it in general?
So
If you had-
a normal human being is still taller than it?
Yeah, I mean, they're taller than any of these right here. So this is pretty much the same size as a regular deluxe, maybe like that Atari Tempest. So it's the same games as that cabinet, but it looks like this. Plus, there's Atari 2600 games on it. What do you think of just the aesthetics? Does that remind you of anything? Or do you like the look of the 50th?
We were talking about the Starcade,
Mhm.
but
She's apathetic about it. So yeah, for me, I went on Michael B stream last night. I truly think this is a collab cab that Atari wanted for this particular Atari 50th celebration, and I think they'll definitely come out with an asteroids version. Like the shape of it just screams asteroids.
Yeah.
If you've seen the shape of that, so
Yeah.
I would wait if you're interested in this for the asteroids version.
Cool. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys. What am I supposed to say? Next
time, you got to play us out next time. We got to bring the guitar back.
Oh, the guitar's coming back. I don't have a way to hook it up.
we forgot to ask for song requests
I
last time you're
know.
here.
We gotta do that again.
Although
We'll
you
plan a
hit the
trip.
acoustic guitar.
Yeah, it's hidden in my room. So, but thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Next
you having
time.
us on, man.
Next time. Good point.
Next
All
time.
right. See you
Thanks,
guys.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.